Hey, y'all know what time it is.
Hey
You
there.
got to catch the vibe. Joy, catch the vibe. Joy, catch the vibe. Joy, catch the vibe. And let me welcome y'all to the Spatially Aware Podcast. The Spatially Aware Podcast with your beautiful Joy Rain and your man Jay Dunn. And we gonna have so much fun. Joy Rain, how you feeling today?
I am feeling amazing. Hey, everybody, and welcome to Spatially Aware Podcast. We are so excited because we have a phenomenal guest to talk to today. But before we get into all of that, Jay Dunn, how are you feeling today?
If you can't tell, yeah, listen, I'm so excited, yeah, I'm so excited, yeah, I'm so excited, I'm about to do a dance, yeah.
Oh
Look,
my gosh.
Okay, all right, listen, you gotta understand, we love doing this podcast. This is the Spatially Aware Podcast, where we continue to unfold and show you what the future of spatial computing looks like, with your beautiful, amazing host, Joy Rain, and your boy, look at the persona, Jay Dunn. It's a good time, but Joy, I am excited today because we have a phenomenal guest in the building. But before we get into that, I want to say WWDC is coming up, right? It's coming up
So exciting.
very soon. Now, there is some desire. I'm sure we'll talk to our guests about it a little bit. But I need to know, what is your number one feature request, Joy? What is your number one feature request you want to see in Vision OS 2.0, 1.5, or whatever Tim Cook gonna give us? What is it? What did you want to see?
These avatars need to upgrade as far as capturing hair and everything, but hey, it's coming along. It's coming along.
Yes. I definitely want to see that. I want to also see maybe some, Bluetooth controller support, like more than just game controllers. Maybe they open up a SDK to allow people to make VR track controllers. I think that'd be really good for gaming because, of course, we love this for productivity. We love doing podcasts and stuff with it. But what I would love to see gaming take to the next level, and that actually links
mine was so vain. It was like, I would just want the hair. You're talking about the computing and whatnot, and I'm like, I just want good hair. Just show me some hair.
But that's what we want. That's what we want. Okay. So look, I want to bring that up because today's guest, they did something incredible. Look, the Apple Vision Pro's only been out for roughly 4 months, coming into 4 months.
Yeah,
and we're just now beginning to see really people doing crazy things with it. And the special guest today did something incredible with it. And we want to intro them in right now. You ready to do this, Joy?
Yeah, but first we want to acknowledge everybody who has tuned in. Hey, everybody. And Bose Knows Gaming, the Quest 3 controllers being usable. That's be cool. Yeah, I agree. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Yeah. Hey, fam, what's good with you, fam? Appreciate you tuning in. I love that. See, Joy always making sure y'all taken care of in the chat. Look, I'm over here like pressing the buttons. I love it, Joy. I love it. So now, are we good to go with the intro our special guest?
Yes, let's go.
Awesome. Let's go, y'all. Jessica Manins. She is co-founder and co-CEO of Beyond, where her talented team pushes creative and technical boundaries to create a generation of immersive virtual worlds. Jessica is on a mission to make virtual worlds social, inclusive, and fun. She's a ball of energy and ideas who has virtually willed big chunks of New Zealand's VR gaming into relevance. So without further ado, let's welcome our special guest, Jessica Manins. Woo!
Welcome.
welcome. And look how terrible my persona is. So yes, we need that set up, and so nice to be here. But yes, just acknowledge that I look very strange right now. I set it up in the 2 minutes before we jumped online, and as you can see, my hair does not look like that picture at all. And so I might need to work on that for next time. But hey, thanks for having me here. I'm so excited to chat with you both.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's why we have those pictures there, so we can show people, hey, it's not quite there yet. But, I mean, they're working on it, but they have a ways to go.
Yeah, look, I've got a weird thing on my head.
It could,
I'll make people laugh.
Look, it could... Look, it connects with what we're going to be talking about today. We're talking about spatial gaming. We're talking about Runaways, and it looks like the hair might have had a little runaway moment right there. So
I think it did. I've got
a
little attachment, a little alien attachment to myself.
Absolutely. Well, this is one of my favorite parts of the show when Joy Rain gets to ask some incredible questions. Once again, Jessica, thank you for joining us on Spatially Aware Podcast. Joy, let's go ahead and get into it.
Absolutely. So here we go. Can you tell us about your journey in founding Beyond and what inspired you to venture into VR gaming?
Well, I come from a background doing theatre and film, so that's always been my life. Entertaining people is something I just love doing. And then it was about 8 years ago when I had the opportunity to try VR for the first time. It was actually another New Zealand company called 8i, and they were doing volumetric VR and really realistic, actually. They, specialised in hair, actually. They made hair look really good. And but it was one of those times, that first time that you put a headset on, you're like, whoa, this is amazing. This is the future. You know it, right? And it's just so good. And it, I just, from that moment, I was like, there's got to be a way I can bring in my experience in entertainment and theatre into virtual reality. And it was about the same time that Pokemon Go came out. So AR was really just starting to kind of take off. And again, I'm really big on healthy entertainment and accessible entertainment. How can as many people have an opportunity to try things and play things. And so the Pokemon Go game really showed me how that was possible, watching people play together, exercise, walk around together, do things socially. And so there was this real desire for me to do something that could be healthy, that would be, social. And so, after opening a R&D centre for VR and AR in Wellington, New Zealand, getting some people together to learn about the technology, getting access to headsets so everyone could have a play, that was kind of the first step in the journey. Started to explore all the different things, made some AR apps, did a few little VR things, worked on some virtual reality healthcare products, so working on therapy and did a range of things, and then managed to kind of raise a little bit of capital for our first game and created Beyond and our first game Oddball, which was a free roam VR game for the Oculus Quest, actually before Oculus Quests were out. So, building a game for something, as I'm sure you'll appreciate, with technology that wasn't quite out yet, but we knew it was coming. So backpack PCs, HTC headsets at the time, and mucking around and figuring out how we were going to do this and make it more accessible and wireless and use all of that technology. And so that's kind of how I got into it. A bit of a chance, right? Opportunity, and then wanting to share it with everyone. Yeah.
Oh, we love that. Look, we got to give you the horns because you are absolutely a pioneer in this. This is exactly what we tell people all the time. It's really about getting into these headsets, getting in there, fresh start, starting from the bottom, and now we're here. Look, so I'm excited about hearing all about this. It's like really cool to know that you were on the ground floor with the Quest, and now as we venture into spatial computing with the Apple Vision Pro, knowing that you were on the ground floor with this as well. That's just super incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's also challenging, of course, as well. The software updates would often break things. Just having to figure out the hardware, and we've certainly had the same experience with the Apple Vision Pro. Being an early adopter and early development studio. We even had to switch over to Unity after working in Unreal for kind of 5 years or so. So yeah, it's been there's lots to talk about. Lots to talk about.
Absolutely. And so we have to say congratulations on the release of Runaways. That's the first thing. Congratulations on that release. And what inspired the concept of Runaways? And how did the idea evolve during the development process?
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll wait for her to come on back in. We are enjoying this, y'all. I hope that you're enjoying this. Once again, as we always tell you guys, we are on the bleeding edge of technology here talking about this. But I love, while we're waiting for her to come back in, I love, once again, Apple Vision Pro being kind of like the Oculus Quest in the very beginning, still having to figure out what the SDK is going to look like. This thing is only 4 months in, y'all. I don't think if you guys understand that properly. So game developers only have had this device in their hands for 4 months, and Jessica and her team worked together to bring a full-fledged game into the Apple App Store for Vision Pro. Like, that is incredible, Joy, and I'm super excited to hear her tell her story even more in a little bit. But Joy, since we're waiting for her to come back in, have you had a chance to play Runaways?
Yes, I had a chance to play, and let me tell you, first of all, it was beautiful. The way that it integrated, like the mixed reality portion of it, it was so like, it's minimalistic, but then after it's complex at the same time, and it's so pretty. Like, the tentacle things is like, I wanted to reach out to the tentacle, and Hank, the little
only you would want to reach out to the tentacles. Why would you want to reach out to the tentacles?
Right, and then after Hank, the little snail guy in the car, looking pretty cool. It was really dope, and I like the hand mechanics of it as well. But I'm probably gonna have to say that again because I want her to hear it, because it was cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. My experience with it, I think you guys, if you have not seen it, we did drop a review on the channel, and so it was a lot of fun. We think it's one of the most polished games on the Vision Pro, and we're hoping to see them being able to update it more, do more with it, connect more with it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I asked them if they were going to add Game Center integration, and they did say that eventually they will be adding that in. So definitely want to try to make that happen. I think we have our guest back. Let me see if I can get in and see if we have her back in. Here we go. There she is.
Hey, welcome back.
I don't know what happened. It just kicked me out suddenly. Safari decided to crash.
Oh, yes. Now, we understand, but we were about to get into what really inspired Joy, right? Runaways.
Yeah, what inspired the concept of Runaways, and how did the idea evolve during the development process?
Yeah, so we had been working actually on a game called Combinauts for a while. We'd actually done a little collab with Weta Workshop in Wellington, where we're based, during COVID, when we were both all stuck at home, and we'd all been doing location-based entertainment, and then we thought, hey, it'd be fun to do something together. It seems like the Quest headsets are taking off. Maybe we could do a little game, a little side project. And so we started to play around with this idea of this Overlord and these little alien type creatures who were out and about, in another universe, but they'd been captured by this evil Overlord, and he was forcing them to do weird things for them, like collect things. He had a bit of an obsession with antiques and other things, and so these little characters started to come to life, these little Combinauts, we called them. And we started to muck around with this multiplayer game where they were collecting things and you could dress them up and they were super cute. And like all games, not every game gets published and not every game gets finished. But we were kind of in the midst of exploring this. And then I started to have this idea about, wouldn't it be fun if some of the characters escaped, right? What if they ran away? What if they were the rebels? What if they were the ones who managed to get out of the grind, to not be stuck, by making what the man tells them to do, and they're like, nah. And so I thought up this idea about, a few of these little characters from the Combinaut kind of IP that we've been building that could have run away, and they've somehow got into our dimension, and they're on the run from this evil overlord who's been making them mind gloop for years and collect things for them. And so the first character that we came up with is who you can see there is Hank. And so he has he has managed to distract the Overlord with and if you've read the first comic book that's in there, you'll have seen that, a little bit of the background on him, and he's made his little patch. He's he thinks he's got a little gang, going, but it's just a little bit of a joke, really. He's the only one in the gang. But he's made his little jacket, and he's distracted them, and he's escaped. And so the Overlord is now on a mission to try and catch him, and he's on the run. And so, I guess that started to evolve as we started to play with augmented reality, the stories around the characters. We have a bunch of characters that we haven't introduced yet that we've been working on. We have all these different comics that we've been working on that will kind of bring those stories of each of those different characters to life. And as we started to play, we were like, wow, it'd be really cool if people got into the stories and they love comics like we do, and that's a way of kind of bringing those characters and their story to life. So that was kind of how it evolved. That comic stuff wasn't really involved in the early kind of Combinauts IP, but they always had this kind of 1950s feel to them with their ships and stuff. That's always been a part of it, and they're meant to be kind of cute, likable characters, and hopefully that people will resonate with and think, we don't want to be trapped by some Overlord. We want to have some freedom, and we want to run and fly.
Listen,
and that's how it evolved.
We don't want to be trapped by the man. I love it.
No.
Listen, first of all, I love that it was a huge story. I love when games have a background to them, and I have to shout out, you said something about the comics. We have to shout out, give the good claps for the comic, because that was the first thing that caught me completely off. First of all, you guys added depth to it. So what people don't realize with the Vision Pro, you do not have to stay in the conventions of 2D gaming. You can take it out of that convention. So even the comics were like 3D and had depth to them, and I really, really loved that. It added a whole new layer. And I gotta be honest, Joy said it while you weren't on here earlier, so I guess she's gonna get a chance to say it again, but we love Hank. Okay. We rock with Hank. I need Hank on a shirt. I want to join his gang. I want to join his gang. So whatever we got to do to make that happen, it's awesome.
All right,
but it's really,
we might
really...
need to get on to some Hank merch, I think, then,
Absolutely. Now, you did hint at something. You hinted at something. You did say there was more characters. I'm excited to meet some of these characters.
I can't give away too much yet. Yeah, no, I mean, it's so new. So I guess we're gonna see how it all goes and what people like and what the requests are. Because of course, with any game and being a small indie studio, of course we wanted to do everything at once and all the features. But budgets and time restricted us to do what we've put out now. But we really want to listen to the community and see what people are up to and what they like and what we're missing. I know we've already talked a little bit online about Game Center. We'd love to make it a little bit more competitive so you can see each other's scores and we can get that going, and that might be one of the next updates. Joy. Yeah. Our QA in our team, Emma, she's amazing. She's already got one of the top scores in the office. But you got to put the hours in, man. I die too much. I'm always dying.
Yes.
Yes, and I love how the comics, when you first come on, you read the backstory and then you get into the story of Hank. And I did notice that they had some room, like they were going to have some more coming. So I'm like, yes, this isn't the end. So for you to say that more characters are going to be introduced, that is so exciting.
Yes, yeah, they're there. They're waiting in the background. They're trying to escape from the Overlord. They just got to have their moment, their timing. When he's not looking, something's got to happen, and then they can get out.
Yes, and that brings us to our next question. Oh, go ahead, Jaden.
No, go ahead, Joy, because I was about to say you fell in love with the tentacles for some reason, Joy. I think you're the only person that fell in love
They
with the
were
tentacles.
so cool looking. Yes,
Aren't
yes, they're
they?
so cool looking. For it to be coming out of
Oh,
that portal and everything. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm kind of obsessed about that. But
I
going on
know,
to
I
our
know.
next question. What is your personal favorite aspect about Runaways or feature?
Do you know what? I really like watching him die and his goop go everywhere. And then the little rip sign comes up and shows you where you last
Yes,
died.
yes.
So, and
Yeah.
I just think that's a really nice feature because then when you get past it, there's that nice little satisfaction of like,
Yes.
yeah, I got past that trap or that gap and I didn't die this time. So I like that.
Yes. That is a great feature to have added because I seen that and I was like, oh, okay. I know not to die there again.
And there's the thing, the more you play it, the goop stays there. So you literally,
Mhm.
see where all these different moments. So if you down the floor a certain area, it will hit there. If it dies, like I say, you see the rest in peace thing.
Yeah.
So my
Yeah.
score is about look, now I'm gonna just say this out loud because my score got up to 170. Okay.
Hey, that's
I'm at
pretty
170.
good.
Okay.
That's
I'm at
not bad.
170.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
think
yeah.
Joy. I
We've-
think
we've-
Joy is like at 179, which makes me really upset.
Okay, well, we need to check in on the scores in like a week's time and
Yes,
see
that's
how you're
it.
going because it gets faster and faster the further you go, but you're
Yes, it
probably still
does.
early on, so it definitely gets harder and harder. Once that gets fast, it's definitely got that skill base, because you've got the two movements, you've got the pinching which allows you to jump or the tapping to jump, and then you've got your thumb down which disarms the traps. So you got to get pretty quick with your hands as it gets faster. Practice
Yes.
that.
Absolutely.
And we
Yeah,
want to shout out to Bo's Nose Gaming. He says, that's dope. I love the comics. Such a great intersection of two different art forms, comics and gaming.
Aw, thank
Absolutely.
you.
Yes, it's you pulling the heartstrings of all the nerds out there. I'll be honest with you because I am absolutely a comic book nerd. Me and Joy both enjoy all of that. So, like I said, it hit all the right nostalgia pieces and the music too. I have to give a shout out to the composer who made the music for the game. I really enjoy it. It's not annoying. It's not one of those things where you get into like, ooh,
Yeah,
can
oh
I
my
hurry up
gosh.
and mute this? So I really,
yeah.
really love that.
Oh, well, that's a shout out to James on our team who did that. He's done the audio and the music, and he did a really great job. So yeah, no, it's hard. It's a little hard thing to pick music that you're not going to get annoyed with. It's
Right.
it's a skill.
Absolutely.
Well, great job, James. Okay, so next question we're moving on to is, what are some of the biggest challenges your team faced in developing Runaways for Apple Vision Pro, and how did they overcome it?
So one of the biggest challenges, which is kind of a little bit of a flashback to 7 years ago when we were making Oddball before we had the headset, was making a game before we had the headset.
Wow.
So
Yes.
we weren't privileged enough to be someone that had an Apple Vision Pro developer kit. So we had to wait like everybody else to buy a headset in February. And in fact, they're not available in New Zealand. So we had to fly a team member's partner over to LA to pick us up a headset and bring it
Wow.
back to us. And so we had been developing, so we started out prototyping last year and doing user testing on the ideas and the gameplay in kind of December last year on a Quest. So we were using a Quest and just using the pass-through mixed reality features, and we were doing all of our user
Wonderful.
testing then. Yeah, and of course it's a very different design process and a very different headset. So we had to kind of also figure out the way that people were having fun in that and how it could translate to the Apple Vision Pro when that came out. So that was definitely a challenge from a design perspective, like switching from one to the other. Not then having the headset meant that we were in the simulator, and that's all good and well, but once you push to the headset, not everything works. It might work perfectly fine in the simulator, and you're like, yeah, this feature's working, this looks great, the tracks are working, and then you push it onto the headset and you start testing and you realize, oh, the tracks are overlapping, and you're like, well, that's not how it looks in the simulator, or just there's bugs and things that you just cannot anticipate until you actually have the hardware. So that really was actually a very challenging thing and kudos to our developers, in particular, Tristan and Mitch, because it's a challenging thing to have to do dev without hardware. And then we were really mean, and we took the headset away once we had like the prototype of it. We went to the US because we went to speak at an event at South by Southwest, and then we were running an event at GDC, and we had to have the headset with us. And so they had another couple of weeks without it, and we got back and they were like, give us the headset. And then I guess from a design perspective, as I kind of briefly touched on, the understanding your users and your players and what people are going to want and how they're going to play with new technology is a really interesting and important thing. And so although we had a lot of players come into our studio early on, when we were prototyping on the Quest, we had to really adapt it once we had the Apple Vision Pro, because we're watching people play in a different way. The headset performs differently. It's got, you now have a little battery pack. I don't know about you, Joy, but I don't have a lot of pockets, and that's also going to influence. And it's going to influence how I play if I'm holding it. You want it to be as easy as possible and as intuitive as possible when it comes to the design and understanding the hardware. And so with the Vision Pro, we were like, well, I feel like, and it'll be interesting to see what others think about this, but that a lot of people are going to play seated, that this is going to be a much less active headset for gaming than say the Quest, which to be honest, most of the Quest games I play, I stand up and I'm moving around and are very active. And I felt, and this was what, I was trying to kind of, that assumption at the early days assumption would be, well, we want people to be able to stand and play this game, but we need to design it in a way that it's accessible for those that want to be seated, and it's comfortable to play in that way and fun to play in that way. And so that influenced the design and made us turn what some of our original designs were into an endless runner from side to side, rather than something that would, say, go all around your lounge, but would require you to get up and touch things and push buttons. And that's not to say we might not move into that design in the future as we see the hardware, the headset change and develop, but for now that was kind of a big kind of design decision that we had to make.
Wow. Listen, y'all.
Okay, so that deserves some hand claps right there.
Got the hand claps. It deserves the horns. It deserves everything because it takes a lot of work. So first of all, shout out to you guys for developing for a product that you didn't even have in your hands. Then figuring out that skunk works mentality of, okay, we'll get on the Quest, we'll build out on there. The mixed reality is going to be kind of similar to that. Then beta testing and player testing to see, well, wait a minute, we had all these cool buttons, all these other things we were going to do, but let's just make it as simple as possible. See, for me, I've always keep saying to myself, and me and Joy have had this battle back and forth because we both have, we're both gamers. She's a PlayStation person and I'm an Xbox person. All right. And so we both have our controllers synced to I think Jessica's saying she might be PlayStation, and I feel like I'm about to have to hang up.
Okay, I do. We do have a PS5 in my house.
Oh man. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and end the podcast here, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, but we have those controllers set up with the Vision Pro so we could play different games. Emulators just started coming onto the App Store and things like that. And I was thinking to myself with Runaways, like, ooh, what if there was a way to sync the Bluetooth controller and play the game that way? That might be a cool way, because I know the fingers for some people may be a little hard to get to. So be cool to know. You just said that maybe in the future there might be possibilities for that.
Yeah, and I think that might be, I never want to say anything's easy because nothing's easy, but I'm hoping that might be an easier update for us to do that. And it's definitely something that we've spoken about in the team and spoken to the Apple team about as well. I think it's something that they're really keen to encourage developers working on the store to have, controller support. So, we just need people to come and jump into Discord who have played and kind of let us know what's most important for them so we can prioritize. We are a very small little indie studio, so as much as we want to do it all, we'll need to make sure that we're doing the right things. But I think you're right. I think that needs to happen.
Absolutely.
Yes. And so what advice would you give an aspiring XR game developer or entrepreneur?
Well, I'm all about understanding who your audience is. So going out and building with an audience is great. So make sure that you're finding what people are interested in, but also you're just trying to find the fun. That's our saying in our office is find the fun. So choose a mechanic, that you're wanting to test out. You've got your idea, and just prototype, and then get people in testing that early. And I think one of the great things now, especially now the changes with the App Lab, for example, on Meta, is there's an opportunity for you to get that out to people really quickly and easily and see what people think about what you're building before you go and build things that are going to cost you so much money and take so much time, because it's hard to make games, and it's a big passion commitment, and time commitment. And so find the fun, make sure lots of people are saying, yeah, this is fun, I like this, and then start building on that.
Absolutely.
Love that
Man.
advice.
See, referencing App Lab, I was just talking to a developer earlier today, explaining that, that change that Meta did with App Lab is a huge win for indie developers, for big developers, for everybody, because I've read articles on Road to VR, Upload VR, Be Enjoy was talking about this the other day, that people are seeing tremendous changes in how much money their games are making on those platforms because of the openness there. And I'm hoping that the App Store begins to open up the doors a little bit more too, as they've done with the emulators. Maybe they'll start opening up the doors a little bit more to making apps for the Vision Pro easier. You mentioned, and we gotta ask, you are now using Unity, and we would love for you to get into that a little bit, instead of Unreal. And I realized that Apple's relationship with Unreal and Epic is not the best relationship at the moment. So there is someone out there, I did see there is some workings with Unity 5.3, I mean not Unity, Unreal 5.3, them working on some things for Vision Pro, but I would love to hear any those restraints that you felt from the Unity side or from the Unreal side.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a shame, and we would love, for anyone to be able to build right onto any platform using any engine that they want to. But I also understand relationships are complicated, and so and for the case of this, moving to Unity's actually in many ways more intuitive for designing for mixed reality and for spatial gaming, and it's something that I think you would probably, if you looked at a percentage of who's built in Unity versus Unreal for VR games in the past, you'd probably find that more than likely the higher percentage is going to be a Unity game. However, we've done a lot of different games and experiences in the past, and we really wanted to push the boundaries when it comes to the visual aspects of our games. And Unreal has some beautiful features in there to make things look really lovely, lighting features, particles. There's all sorts of real lovely things it can do. And so we had been building in Unreal for quite some time. So it was a real switch to have to go to Unity, particularly more for our artists than for our developers, because our developers, C++ and C#, actually Unreal technically is generally a harder language to learn and master than Unity is. So that wasn't such a problem, and and our team had Unity experience before. But there are limitations, particularly from an art perspective. So particles, for example, particle effects. Man, we wanted to have gloop going everywhere in your room. We wanted, it to look we just wanted it everywhere to splatter, and we wanted, those deaths to be really kind of comedic, and you just to feel that everywhere. Yeah. And getting those particles to work and those effects to work were really challenging with Unity. There's some improvements that need to happen there. So that's definitely something we're looking forward to. And I know, it's all new for them as well, right? Having Unity, work. So if you were building in the native Swift, code, then I think that there's more that you can do. But again, that's a whole other skill and talent that you need. So I think, as you mentioned, there's going to be Unreal integrations, I'm sure, coming up. I have also seen a few people doing a bit there, and who knows? Maybe we'll switch back. It's whatever engine works best for the platform that you're building for. And I've kind of enjoyed, going back to Unity. We made some games on Unity, kind of 7, 8 years ago. So yeah, it's not a bad thing to have both of those engine skills within our team.
Love it.
Yes, I love that. It basically just sets you up for maybe even cross-platform working with the MetaQuest platform and other headsets. I know Samsung is working on something and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, and
Absolutely.
so what trends in XR gaming are you most excited about right now?
You know what? I don't know if everyone else is going to agree on this, but I'm a casual gamer, so I love casual games and I love movement games.
Yeah.
And I'm loving the amount of new kind of and they're not fitness games, but they enable you to get fit. I'm loving this expansion of gamification within this kind of fitness area. And, my son is absolutely obsessed with Gorilla Tag. I mean, what a success story. But he is having so much fun. He's sweating. He's having chats with his friends. And I'm all about that. Like social, healthy games. They get you moving. They get you connecting with your friends, which is good for our mental health, good for our well-being.
Right.
And I am loving seeing this trend, and I'm loving seeing the positivity and the positive gameplays that are coming out in this area, that they're not all shooters, and we're getting away from having to do, these violent games, as much as I love shooting it up as much as anyone else does. It's nice to be able to have some variety, and it's nice to see our children coming in and enjoying mixed reality and virtual reality and of just, and the graphics, the improvements in graphics, you probably see it with our game, like to be able to have those beautiful graphics and not people say, oh, it's so ugly, or it looks like a game from the 1990s or whatever, that's really nice.
No,
You're so
we
right.
love that. James Smith says, hello, everyone. We appreciate you, James, for tuning in. Appreciate
Hi
you for
there,
tuning in.
James.
But we love to hear about that, because fitness is a big part for me and Joy as well. We will get in the headset. She's great with Headspace for mental health. I do a little bit of supernatural on the MetaQuest as well. Get fit, and I'll be honest, Gorilla Tag has not won us over yet. We got in there. We were super excited. We're running around doing our first little movements, and the kids just was tagging us and making us it, and I just could never catch them. I could never catch them.
Dude, it's not. I don't think it's built for us.
Absolutely.
Right.
But I love where it's going, and I love that we have those experiences, and we're having a wider audience, and that we can embrace games for everyone.
Absolutely.
Yes. And so our final question of the night is, how do you see the XR gaming industry evolving in the next 5 to 10 years? And what do you envision beyond? What role do you envision beyond in that future?
Well, in terms of beyond in that future, I hope that we continue to be on the cutting edge of whatever hardware and technology is happening out there. That's a big thing for us. Innovations in our DNA. We want to always be testing and trying things. It doesn't always mean that we'll win or succeed. Failure is a big part of any entrepreneurial journey.
Oh, yeah.
But I see, like everybody, when the hardware continues to be reduced in price, the quality gets better. They become more comfortable. Let's be honest. We all want smaller glasses. We want them to be more comfortable.
Yes.
We want to be able to move around. All of that is just vital for adoption. And the price point needs to come down. And when all of that combines with quality content, when we're supporting our developers, when we're supporting indie developers, when that's all happening, we're allowing people to be creative. We're getting quality content.
Yes, indeed. Quality content is what we want. Quality content is what we want. Listen, while we wait for her to come back on, I want to say this. Actually, she's coming on now, but I want to say this because it's really important. We glad to have you back on. Looks like you back on here. Here we go. You said
Loves
something.
to lose me right mid-sentence. It's all good.
No,
And
I
when
wanna say
technology doesn't
something.
do that, eh?
Yes, I want to go back to what you said. We need to support our indie developers. I'm gonna put it on me. I seldom,
Yes.
Joy knows this, I seldom put the camera on me at all. We need to support our indie developers. This game came out 4 months, the Apple Vision Pro's been out, and they got this game out. It is polished. It is incredible. You've already heard, they even tell you in the notes, they tell you in the promo, they say, hey, more is coming. Support this
Yeah.
thing. So if you want to see more games come to the Vision Pro, you want to see more games come into XR, you want to see Hank and all his friends take to the next journey, we need you to go onto the App Store today and download this game on your Vision Pro. We understand that the Vision Pro may not be everywhere in the world. We're hoping by WWDC time we'll begin to see this thing sold more places. But what you need to do for sure is go download Runaways and support Beyond, this indie development team who actually cares and put craft and put time and energy into building this game for us so that we can have something to play. Me and Joy search the App Store every single day.
Listen,
And we have
yes.
and we have spent money to support, but also wasted money because some of these things were literally a Unity project that just was brought in and said, look at what we did, which we understand. It's the early days of the App Store for Vision Pro. And we believe that Runaways has the power to be the next Temple Run-esque type game for the platform. So once again, we want to give you the good claps for being brave, for coming in.
Oh, you're so kind.
coming-
Thank you.
Yeah, because it's hard. This is not easy. Heck, we're doing this podcast live. People don't realize we're doing all this inside of the headset. This is cutting edge technology. Now, in a year or two, there are gonna be apps that do all this work for you. But until then, we're working on this behind the scenes. So you guys give us good claps too. Good claps.
Yes, yes, you
Yay.
deserve it. It's so wonderful. What you're doing is so important. And I just want to say a shout out to you both because, you're giving us a platform. You're exploring new technology and, we can't do it without people like you. So, big claps to you. Thank you so much.
thank
You
you,
really are
Jessica.
appreciated.
Hey,
thank
we
you
love
so
to hear
much.
it. We love to hear it. Listen, so this has been a phenomenal show. I want to make sure, Jessica, that you got everything that you wanted to say out on that last point before we end out. Was there anything else you wanted to add about the next 5 to 10 years with Beyond?
We're just going to keep finding the fun and we are going to keep bringing the fun and that's what we're here for. So, that's the future.
Oh, we love it. We love it. Well, Joy, this has been a phenomenal show. Thanks again so much, Jessica, for coming on and being part of Spatially Aware Podcast. Listen, I'm going to say this one more time before we let everybody give they little takeaways. Go get Runaways right now. What are y'all doing? What are you doing? Go get this thing. If you're watching this, more than likely you're getting the Vision Pro, or you're excited about the Vision Pro, or you're curious about it. When you get it, go download Runaways. Jessica, any last words that you have to the audience out here watching today?
Hank needs saving. He needs saving. You got to get him away from those tentacles. So off you go. Have a play, and please let us know your feedback. We really appreciate you sharing and letting us know. We're here for you, the community. We're here to build with you. So let's do it.
Awesome. Joy, what you got to say?
Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in today to Spatially Aware. We thank our guest, Jessica, for just dropping these jewels and telling us exactly how this process came about. And we're so excited for Runaway. And so I'm just going to repeat, like Jay Dunn said, make sure you go and get this game for Apple Vision Pro. It is so much fun, everybody. And until next time, we'll see y'all later.
Yes, we will see you on Spatially Aware Podcast real soon. Thank you again, Jessica. Thank you again, Joy. And we'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.